Welcome back to Agenda Now. Today, I'm digging into a story that's reshaping the future of our economy, technology, and national security. How China's rare earth price war is putting America's industry on edge and what the US can do about it. Critical minerals like lithium, nickel, cobalt, and those elusive rare earths are in just about everything. Your car, your phone, even the medical gear at your local hospital. These aren't just fancy metals, they're the building blocks of modern life, powering factories across the Midwest and shaping jobs most folks don't even realize exist. But here's the twist. China dominates every step of this game, from digging these minerals out of the ground, to processing, and right up to manufacturing the final products. China calls the shots, and they know it. Take price dumping. It's when China floods the market with minerals at rock-bottom prices, pushing out anyone who tries to compete. Or when tensions rise, they can just cut off exports entirely. For American factories and workers, that means whiplash. One day prices are low, the next they're through the roof. Supply chains snap, steel and chemical plants stall, and entire towns can feel the hit. This isn't just market competition, it's a playbook for economic dominance, and it's got real consequences for families, jobs, and the communities that keep America running. So what's the US doing? Congressional leaders, like Shontel Brown, are pressing mining CEOs for answers. The focus is on rebuilding our own supply chains, investing in new tech, and partnering with allies. Through smart policies and trade enforcement, the goal is to break that dependence on China and keep factories humming here at home. Tech innovation is giving us new ways to source and recycle these minerals, while research is looking for alternatives that could cut China out of the equation altogether. But here's the catch: the window to act is closing fast. If we invest now in mining, processing, and manufacturing, we secure good jobs, clean energy, and our national strength. If we stall, China only tightens its grip, making it even harder to catch up. The stakes are real. Every decision today will shape our industries, our innovation, and our communities for decades to come. This isn't just about rare earths, it's about the future America we want to build. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe to stay on top of these stories, and keep watching Agenda Now for more on how global forces are shaping our lives.
Thank you. Representative Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we are talking about something that affects our economy, our national security, and the daily lives of families in Ohio's 11th District. The minerals and materials we need to build cars, batteries, medical equipment, and modern technology. Lithium, nickel, cobalt are all critical for innovation and supporting industrial growth in Ohio and across America. Right now, China controls most of these minerals from start to finish. They mine them, process them, and manufacture the key components we depend on. And the evidence is clear. China uses this as a control to push other countries like the United States out of the market. They suddenly drop prices to levels no American company can match, or they cut off exports to gain leverage during disputes. When that happens, the impacts hit home quickly. Factories in my district face unstable prices for the parts they need. Auto suppliers can't get the magnets required for electric motors. Steel and chemical producers see costs jump overnight. And workers, many of them union members, who keep our district strong, end up facing uncertainty they didn't create. This is not the result of normal market competition. It's the result of a deliberate strategy by the Chinese government to control the supply chains that power the 21st century economy. And if we don't respond, we risk becoming dependent on China for products that are central to everything, from clean energy to military readiness. People in every corner of my district and all across the Midwest know what it feels like when our industries lose out to unfair competition. We've lived that story before, and we cannot afford to relive it again. So my focus today is simple: to find out how we can protect American workers, strengthen our supply chain, and prevent China's manipulation. I'll start with you, Mr. Slauster. For decades, industries in my district have been hit hard by China's below-cost dumping. Now we're seeing China use these exact same tactics in critical minerals. What changes in trade enforcement would be most effective to protect workers and manufacturers in places like Cleveland from being undercut all over again?
Thank you, ma'am. I've spent a lot of time in Ohio's auto towns, Marysville, Anna, in a prior life. So I know firsthand how those factories are really the engine of those small towns. There were shutdowns earlier this summer as a result, in auto factories in the United States as a result of the rare earth situation. With regard to standards, I think we need to work with our allies and partners and agree on a set of standards that align with market economies, that align with our values. And I think if we do so, and I think we are doing so with some of these agreements that we've been forming in the last few years, I think that will help lift up the entire market over time. And I think it's a really important aspect of the whole conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Roundtree, China's dominance in magnet production gives it the ability to influence global prices overnight. How have you seen China use that leverage to push competitors out of the market or pressure companies trying to build non-Chinese supply chains?
Yeah, I think when you look at the pressure, the low prices, but it's really around getting the capital or attracting the capital that we've heard to scale, alternative technologies. At Nairon, our source of iron or iron salts, it's a byproduct of steel making. Our source of nitrogen is ammonia, which is used heavily in the Midwest for fertilizer manufacturing. And so we are bringing back, magnet production, but not playing the same game. We've changed the game. We've out-innovated. And that's what our technology provides us with, other technologies that are alternatives to these rare earths. And so it's critical for us as we're scaling here that we get to scale so we can be fully competitive, right, because of the lower cost inputs, right, from our steel making and from our fertilizer manufacturing that will enable us to provide a reliable, secure supply of magnets to the U.S. economy.
Thank you. And Mr. Evans, you've seen how long-term supply contracts, processing bottlenecks, and foreign ownership can shape whether a supply chain succeeds or fails. In your view, what are the biggest points of vulnerability in the U.S. lithium supply chain today that could slow down or even derail new domestic investments?
I think it's losing the opportunity we have right now. Or I think it's taken some time to actually act on some of the things that are being recognized here so we can level the playing field. I say this as a former proud Ohioan, both my kids are Buckeyes. You can see most of the battery capacity in the U.S. between the Southwest with a huge chunk of it going in the Midwest because of the skilled workforce and excellent universities that they have. If we take our eye off the ball, I think the chairman mentioned we have a year now and revert back, it's exactly what China wants us to do. We can set ourselves in a situation where not only we can actually develop the raw materials and the intermediates needed to actually fund supply these facilities. In our case, in the Midwest, you've seen potential structures that have been set up where the Chinese want to set up facilities. But the issue with that is they want the good stuff, the family jewels, they want to ship in this case, cathodes. Cathodes and anodes, basically, which is the high-tech part of it, they wanted to ship in and basically just do assembly in the United States. That's not the way it works in China. I spent a large time of my career in and out of China, and you have to bring everything with you. We have the ability to actually build the entire supply chain here, but it all starts with leveling the playing field.
OH.
IO.
Thank you. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you.